All right.
And
All
try
right.
not to let it be weird.
Yeah. I believe I have everything set up as to how it should be. So
Well,
we'll wait just a couple
I
more
have
minutes.
faith in you.
And I think it's just going to be us two today. No problem.
Yeah.
This is the cinematic choir. That's what it's called. And you put a melody to it, like an MIDI, and it literally sounds like a real choir. Crazy, huh? Like that could be a flute, it could be a synth. Yeah, dude. All right, there. You ready? Ready as you'll ever be?
Well, you know.
All right, let's get it on. Let's get it on.
Oh, man.
The Echoes of New Eden podcast starts now. Enjoy the show.
From the content creators that bring you the lowest effort content imaginable. You know, the ones that brought you info that devs don't want you to know about. The podcast you probably don't want your girlfriend to know about.
Who?
And will most likely get you banned just for talking about it. Raw, uncut, and uncensored.
We want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Maybe try some mining or something. Remember not to undock anything you can't afford to lose.
Welcome to the Echoes of New Eden podcast. Let's start this bitch.
And welcome, everybody. Welcome to Echoes of New Eden podcast. But I don't have to tell you that. We are starting season 7. Can you believe it? Season 7 of this podcast. Going into year 6 of the game, of course, but season 7 of the podcast. And boy, oh boy, has time flew by. I can't believe it's been this long already, but crazy. The podcast isn't dead yet, so I say yet. But we had quite the holiday break. I was pretty busy the last few weeks and decided to wait until now to finally do a show, the first show of the season, right? And of course, here we are. And today with me, we have our trusty co-host, Raven. So how are you doing, Raven?
I'm doing all right, mate. It's been a heck of a holiday season, getting to see some family and friends such as that. So it's been really time consuming, as you just kind of mentioned. So just grateful to be back and doing normal things.
Yeah, back into the groove. And I was out of town and just been busy last few weekends. And I was, communicating with the staff. I was like, well, okay, we are still alive. Should we do it this week? Well, I'm going to be going out of town. I don't want to, skip beats and start going every other week and all this type of stuff. So we kind of waited a little bit up until we can be more consistent with the podcast and being able to sit down and chat everything Eve Echoes with you guys. And so, of course, with this week, a number of things had happened in the past couple weeks, and we'll talk about it coming up here. And, no Jibby with us today. Hopefully everything is all right in his neck of the woods, and he'll be able to, join some podcast episodes in the future. I know he is still around, but he's just got life happening right now too. So shout out to Juby staying with us for another year, and we'll keep on doing we'll keep on keeping on with the podcast, and I'm always welcome to having guests on the show as well. If people want to come on, talk about certain subjects, anything alike, right? If they want to do a recruiting campaign or something, then they can come on air and they can talk about it. But regardless, we are here, and we got some big topics to talk with you all today about. I know, much anticipated. Can you believe it? And so I want to remind the audience that we are using the on-air chat. If you're using the stage chat, it does not get captured through the video. So maybe that's good for some people. It just doesn't appear on YouTube that case. So, and of course, keep it like PG-13, right?
Nay.
Because I don't need no nudity. There was one time somebody had post say an NSW whatever freaking photo in the on-air chat, and YouTube automatically created a thumbnail for it, and then we ended up posting it on the official Eve Echoes Discord, and I had to get taken down. I had to change the thumb. It was crazy. That crap happens.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
stupid.
Right.
And for whatever reason, YouTube algorithms like, oh yeah, we're gonna choose this picture. But regardless, use the chat. Keep it PG-13. Of course, we'll be watching the chat and all that, so we can react and converse, as well as answer some of the questions that come up or comments. So here we are, another week, and a few things had happened in the last week, but the last few weeks, and the biggest notice probably was the SHH Alliance disbanding. And so I know it's not official news according to SHH, but I'm officially telling you that it is disbanded. There is literally going to be nothing about it here in the May. I don't even know what they're going to do. So we'll talk about that. They got Final Blow goes down, of course, through an update that the games or the devs did on the back end of the game, and so that kind of destroyed that quite a bit. So we'll comment on that. The devs recently had a Q&A, and so there was a video that was posted on Bilibili. I do have all the links. I have screenshots of some of this stuff. We'll talk about the major stuff. Granted, it was all in Chinese. The recap was translated, all that type of stuff. And so we'll go over what we know. I got some in-game codes for you as well. And then we'll go on with the patch notes and talk about that. And then basically anything others. Well, Axel, the codes do work. It acknowledges that the codes work. But I logged in under my main account where I activated them, and I didn't get the mail like I was supposed to get the rewards. And so whether it's SP, usually it's SP, right? But
Right.
they work, but seemingly not on our game server. So maybe I was thinking, well, is there a lag? Do I have to wait till the next reset or something? But yeah, if you type them again. Regardless, we got them.
Yeah.
If eventually they work, so be it. If they don't, at least you tried. I don't know. I tried them all, and there was all of them but 2 didn't work for me, and that was because it said I had already input that code already, even though it was different. So regardless. And then yeah, so just talk about the patch notes and the new core and the new event and everything else that's been happening. Of course, in chat, if you have something to add, of course, feel free to type in the on-air chat. So we will get right into it. What did the code offer? I wish I could tell you. Though all I did was input the codes. It said that it was a good code, and I never got the mail of whatever the gift was. So my guess probably is 5,000 SP or 10,000 or whatever. But that's the guess, right? So all right. Switch over to my browser, and my browser, look, check this out. I got something new for y'all this week. Check this out. I made a little web page of the Eve Echoes fake news. And so here we'll kind of go on board with this and kind of hit the topics here. So the SHH Alliance disbands. Some of you probably find this to be surprising, though I, having been in SHH for the previous 5 years, it has, I don't know, I kind of foresaw it coming regardless. So if it wasn't due to an extermination campaign, it was due to lack of leadership. And that's my personal opinion, even though maybe some others could probably tell you differently. But the SHH Alliance unofficially disbanded after Shizuka stepped down from the exec role, reports say. And so with that, some other corps had felt that it was a time for a change. And so I'll give my opinions on that here in a little bit. To some, this was an anticipated move by the Alliance due to the lack of leadership at the upper level. Since Taylor has stepped down from the exec position last year, there's been multiple execs to fill that role. So since Taylor, and this is kind of like a little history as to what's all going on and maybe up to the current events and what happened. And so since Taylor, we had 3 executives, and a lot of these were basically co-executives with each other, Ayu and Winch, and then Winch and Suzuka. And that's been like the last couple months, right? Few months. I forget what month Taylor had stepped down. I don't remember if it was October or what, but it's been a number of months. And so prior to Taylor, we'd had in 4 years, we had True Beast, Nihilist, Zen, and then Nihilist had a second term before Taylor. And it was like, holy crap, over 4 years, we only had 3 execs. And then in the last 3 months, we had 3 execs. Like you could tell that the turnover there is a bit concerning, right? And so Taylor definitely was good at his position. You know, he kept the Alliance active and kept people engaged and kept doing things, right? Like he was always there, engaged. He was 100%. But seemingly these new execs, they haven't all been there. You know, like I've known Hayu, I've spoke to Winterest 100 times. I didn't really know Shizuka that well, though I know like his CEO and the corp and all that. So I wasn't really worried about that. But
Okay.
you know, it's just seemingly the job wasn't cut out for that group. So there you go. CEO chats. Some images got leaked, and at least it was leaked to me that Hagen was the first to, quote, announce of their departure. And then later HTP announced their departure from the Alliance, and then they left the Alliance in the game soon after. Then after that, other corporations were in discussions on their exit strategy. So that was basically the start of it. Even though Pagan at the time, I don't think officially announced it, they had hinted that they were going to go to Bot 5. And so I don't know if that caused frustrations or what have you, but seemingly they got the ball rolling on a few things as to, okay, hey, what's all going on with this? And so as of today, if I go onto the SHH Alliance Discord, under Fed announcements, there is no announcement about a official disband. I don't know if there's going to be that. There may not be. But like I said, I'm officially telling you that this is the case. Literally, there's like 1 or 2 corps left in the SH Alliance. Like everybody else is left. So whether or not it's in game, they have discords, they haven't officially said it. People fled. Like this is legit shit. And I broke the news, what was it, Wednesday? I knew about it Tuesday. I knew about it on Tuesday, and then I leaked it on the Gulag on Wednesday. And I just posted it. And then from there, it kind of got the rumors going. But then since then, I've had multiple people DMing me screenshots where people are going and all this type of stuff. So like I know shit was going down at the time too. So I couldn't wait to basically break the news or at least officially talk about it here on the podcast. So most of the corps have left the Alliance in game and have changed alliances already. So here's the breakdown. And basically it just comes down to all the SHH corps, they either went into Bot 5, Trog, or VVV. And so those were kind of the alliances that SHH was blue with or allied with. Trog, even though not officially, they may be officially. don't understand relationship. But anyway, Pagan, She, and BFPC is speculated. BFPC is speculated to go to bot 5. I'm pretty sure that was the word on the street. Trog, aka A0A, they got Big, Zan, and then Mata. For now, I put on the quotations here. They are later to move to Meow. So Meow is going to get the Russian corp of Mata, and then VVV also got HTP, Sum, Gon, DVN3, and which is a little weird with that scenario too, because these corps had joined VVV, and then due to the expansion, VVV disband, and they created a new alliance called the Starfall Alliance. And so I was getting messages about that, like, oh, hold up, why are you gray again? What's going on with your alliance? I was like, well, disband. SHH disbands, and then VVV disbands, and now here we are, right? But it's the same alliance, just renamed to Starfall, and you could only blame NetEase for that because they don't give you the option to rename alliances like you can rename a corpse. And so that's really the only way that you do that. UFCG is going to AOA, and as far as I know, that's the only corp that's going to AOA or is in AOA since SHH. And then the question mark alliance is Reaper Squad. They're a French corp. I'm not exactly sure where they're going to go. At least from my sources, it's kind of unknown at this point. And then, of course, there's a lot of alt corps and all that stuff still that have to be transferred over to these other alliances. But SHH, it might still be on the map for a little bit, but I could officially say nail is in the coffin there. It's done. It's kaput. So everybody can say RIP to that alliance. And quick disposition on that is it was a good run. Honestly, we had a lot of good content. There's a lot of good people within that alliance, and over the years, they've come to be the bad guys and then the good guys and then the bad guys again. And there's a lot of shit talk and what say you. But over the years, it's been great. You get to know the CEOs, especially when you're in the leadership level and talking with the other corps and making relationships and all that. It's been a good time. But I think the time has officially come to say, hey, something needs to change here. And so this is going to be it. Now, What had happened, right? So could this have resulted in the culmination of recent events such as how Taylor had to resign or how PvP corps were turned into crab corps to pay alliance dues? Or was it the lack of decision-making at the alliance level? Inactivity was brought up in a lot of these concerns, too, that people had. Like Winchurst, for instance. Apparently, she's been AFK for 3 months or something like that. Just, I get it. Life happens. But if you're holding the keys and you step away, like, you got to give somebody the keys to be able to do something. Understandably, there was co-executors in this alliance, and so it was kind of either communicate with this person or this person, but it always seemed, from what I hear, it just seemed to be, one person kind of doing everything. So, inactivity, as well as the removal of past FCs that led corps to not agree with alliance decisions. Some internal disputes was also rumored to have caused Shizuka to step down as the exec. So that's more recent as to maybe why the ball got rolling, as to why he had actually stepped down and decided that this is a bunch of BS and you can't really make everybody happy, which is understandable. Trying to make everybody happy, especially in a game, is quite difficult. I mean, even in real life, that's why you have politics, right? That's why you have two sides. Or anyway, some of these other concerns too, and Taylor is, as good of an exec he was. Ultimately, it was pretty sad the way he ended up getting shoved out and having to step down. And I don't think he actually had to step down, but he did it in grace and in reputation, I guess, just to kind of maintain some sort of good standings. But that was a whole shit show, right? And so then they had to scramble to be able to get like a new executor, and that's where you get people that maybe aren't in 100%, and they decide that they're going to try it, and and who knows what, right? And then on top of that, in a way, I kind of disagreed with this. And sorry, Raven, I know I'm just chatting up a storm, but I'm so excited to
Oh,
talk
you're
about this.
totally fine.
But
This is interesting.
during the time, at least that when I was the CEO and Taylor was the exec, um, I did have some concerns, and of course, I voiced those concerns, and then I ended up, kind of stepping down from a CEO position to kind of focus more on real life stuff and kind of step away from that. But one of the things that I very much disliked about SHH, say 2 years ago, was when supers came out, or at least, yeah, I would say supers. When supers started coming out, a lot of people were trying to get like SRP for these, or they're trying to. The alliance was trying to get more money and trying to figure out an SRP program for supers. Well, ultimately, what that led to was alliance leadership kind of mandating that the alliance dues raise. And so there was ISK dues, there was capital components dues. You had to do a moon belt a week and donate it to the alliance. You had to do this. And every week it was something new, right? Or every time we had a CEO meeting, it was something new. And I was like, oh my God, now what? And ultimately, what it comes down to was we were turning a PvP alliance into a crab alliance. As bad as that may sound, I mean, it was no longer a PvP alliance. It was a crab alliance. It was like, why would I go out in PvP when I have to go do moon belts and I have to grind ISK for alliance dues, or I have to have or mine for corps so they can build their components, and of course all that is money. Yeah, nickel and dimed. Basically, it sucked. It really did. And so I was very frustrated in that. And I actually had to say, you know what? I'm done with this. I backed out of I left the CEO chats, and I just could not do that. I was gonna, I still backed the alliance, and I still, Taylor was our exec, right? I wasn't going to say that, or I wasn't not going to say that, right? But I was like, you know what? I just can't mentally take this right now. And so I stepped back right around that time. I ended up switching corps. And so then I've been with HTP ever since. But from then I'm just watching these corps, and they're just getting drained and milked to death over alliance dues, and then shit changes, and then fast forward to today. And so ultimately I think that's when it really started. When SHH went from a PvP alliance and then started turning into a crab alliance, we lost a lot of the strive to want to actually go out and fight. And we saw that with the Meow war. When they came stepping in, dude, they walked all over us. We're like, dude, we can't form. Where's our FCs? Oh, that's right. You pushed Joda out, right? Over a stupid ass POS dispute. People don't want to admit to that, but ultimately that's what it was. That's what it was. As freaking dumb as it is, it's always over a POS dispute. And so it's just crazy, right? And so that was a whole scenario too that I also think that kind of got the ball rolling, as like, dude, we lost our best FC over some dumbass dispute. And of course, the opposing party wasn't, they weren't wrong, I guess, but because it was a certain name, I'm not going to name names. I think that's why it kind of went down like the way it did. So anyway, Joda got pushed out, and then Hayu kind of reformed the alliance and turned Bot 5 into their own alliance rather than kind of a subsidiary of SHH. And with that, I think Rick 6 was the FC at the time. He demoted the FCs and told them, well, basically go pound sand. You're not an FC for SHH anymore. And so I think he was an FC for Bot 5 technically. This has happened months ago, probably 6 or so months ago, and I have to revert back to old conversations and all that stuff in order to get the absolute facts straight. But for the most case, that's what happened. And so when we lose a lot of these FCs and no new FCs are standing up, they're not getting trained properly, they're not really doing anything, it seems like. Even though we did have some people kind of trying to form fleets, people weren't willing to form up for these FCs. like they were with Joda or with like way they were with even Taylor or Rick Six at the time. And so ultimately, it's like, dude, we had a Meow agreement that was coming to a close, and talks were already being said. Like, dude, once this agreement finishes, SHH is done because they're gonna walk all over them. Now, this was right before TSC disbanded, and Meow kind of came in and picked up some of the remnants there. So I kind of figured that Meow was busy down in Delve regardless, and so I was optimistic whether or not they would come up into decline and try and take corpse or poach corpse or any of that. So even though that may be the case, I don't think it was the case. But regardless, that was kind of one of the fears that I think a lot of people had, at least line members. Like, dude, if we don't do something, we're gonna get freaking executed here. So what are we gonna do? Well, the best thing to do is talk with your feet. And before the alliance even actually before corpse even decided to start leaving, members were leaving. Dude, we've had members leave. They're like, well, this alliance isn't really doing anything for PvP, and so I'm gonna go to a PvP alliance. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. I can't tell you otherwise, right? If that's what you want to do, I can't tell you otherwise. And so there you go. Have fun. 07, no hard feelings. I understand your frustrations. So again, right? Read between the lines. This has been coming for months, maybe even over the last year. It's just been in decline. And the fear was once this pact agreement comes up from Meow, they're going to come and level us. Now, who's to say AOA couldn't just do that? But for whatever reason, I think AOA hadn't either just cared for it or whatever. But regardless, all the corps, they'd gone into new alliances. So to say something quickly on that is I'm actually glad this has happened. This has actually revived a lot of things for the game for me, just to be a bit more active. It's ultimately, dude, it's actually it's making the game fun again, because before it was just like same old boring, and okay, what are we doing today? I need to undock and grind disc and blah blah blah. But now it's like we got granted, I joined the VVV, aka Starfall. It's going to be the next alliance. I'm just going to refer to Starfall. But dude, you jump into a room and you got new corporations and new CEOs and new members and people you haven't talked to in a long time. And it's like, oh, hey, we're in the same alliance now. Holy smokes. Like, oh, okay, cool. This is interesting. You're meeting new people and you're getting acquainted with the new discords and all that stuff. It's actually got me to be more active, and have fun with it, right? And so we're for the alliances that are gaining corps, like have fun with it, expand, take the good from the bad. Ultimately the previous alliance went down. It is what it is. But I think the Phoenix was reborn with a lot of these corps, and people are coming back and people are engaged and people are, willing to move and make changes and all that stuff for the better of the corporations in their new alliance. And so at least that's my perception. And yeah, I mean, it's been fun. It's been fun since we joined VVV. And, I guess can't wait for what the future holds, right? So Raven, what do you got to say on that? I know I've been talking. I was on the soapbox there for quite a bit, based on that.
You were keeping it interesting. I mean, the reality is you're not wrong. I mean, it's pretty much the death throes of every alliance, right? When they go out, there's either, some sort of saltiness in the leadership, a lack of leadership, a lack of FCs, which all of those things are necessary in tandem to be able to be successful running these larger groups. And when you think smaller, right? If you go corporate to corporate, like, NetEase would prefer you do, stay in your own little lane and don't try to get bigger than you are. It makes sense for people to want to change the scenery, but that always comes with, like you were saying, the lack of leadership in the end, right? It's the same as like some pilots for TSC would say, there was a lack of leadership. myself, I'm not of that mindset, but that's just me. But I think it was, the lack of shared responsibility of FCing. It was the lack of engaging in protecting your home space. It was the lack of, I want to say, pride in what you had and being willing to exude that protective nature. A lot of people take it for granted, but at the end of the day, without that kind of thinking, without that prideful nature of some of these leaders out there in these alliances, really none of these alliances would have ever existed to begin with,
Mhm.
to be fair.
Yeah, and
You take
so
those personalities away, anything's gonna die, mate.
man, it was so obvious too, just the lack of leadership, and that's at the pilot level. Maybe it wasn't the case in upper management, the stuff that pilots don't really see. But again, I only know what I'm told, based off screenshots and all this stuff. But it's just crazy as to like, well, I asked and nobody said anything, and well, what can you do, right? And it's like, well, shoot,
Right. It's
yeah,
like, oh,
now
you
what?
said that somebody said this, but I don't see the writing on the wall. I don't see the posted messages. You're not seeing or hearing the conversations that are happening behind closed doors. And from a line pilot's point of view, it makes you feel extremely excluded, very not needed, so to speak. And that too has its weight to be
Oh, for
bared.
sure, for sure, yeah,
For a lot
and
of leaderships in these alliances, trying to even keep content up in a meaningful way is a big thing too. You don't want to trounce relationships you've built, but you also don't want people to get bored.
yeah. Yeah, and what Bradrick was saying, Joda cared, Taylor cared. They both made decisions that required actual serious backing, and they both got backstabbed. Isn't that crazy? Like, in case
No,
people
that's
didn't
legit.
really realize, like, all the way up even till until Taylor, Mr. Pay to Win was actually like the overseeing executor, even though he wasn't there at face value. So previous executors and all that, MJD and Mr. Pay, they were kind of overseeing the whole situation, and then there was their leader that they had at face value. He was the one that was leading, firesides, all that type of stuff, and there was a lot of that like kind of puppet type stuff happening. On top of they had this council, and the council, I believe, is just a bunch of people that don't even play the game anymore. And it was actually confirmed, I saw in one of the chats, that they don't even play this game because they're playing Frontier, and yet they hold a council position in Upper Alliance. And it's like, why are you making
Mhm.
decisions on a game that you don't even play? It's like the people on the
Right.
official on the R Echoes Reddit, the first one, not the second one. It's like you
Okay.
got people that play Fortnite, modding, or not modding, but yeah, moderating a Reddit for Eve Echoes in which they know nothing about. It's like, why are you here? And
uh, attention.
that was the case for a majority of the council. As weird as that look, I'm pretty sure if they were to say names, I mean, I know the names and I could tell you whether or not they play or have even logged into Eve Echoes in the last 6 months to a year, because it's probably the case that they didn't. So they were AFK. I absolutely hated that. I said, if you're going to get top brass, make sure that they're active. This is why one reason it's like, dude, if I'm always, I am perfectly okay with having a alliance exec that's active every day, whom I can DM and actually get honest opinions or answers on, who actually
Uh,
plays the game. On top of having trusted support around him, like council staff members and all this stuff, like get people that are active, get people that know their shit, surround them, and get a group together. Why are we sticking around with people that don't even play the game anymore? And then they have to vote in new people. That's like, well, hey, I'm Mr. Rambo, and I play the game every day, and I'd like to be a council member, and they get declined because whatever their disposition is. And it's like, well, we can't have this guy.
right.
He's he works for some douchebag podcast, and he likes to talk and all this stuff, and we can't really have him, and he might be prone to saying absurd things or OPSEC. You can't trust, blah blah blah. Whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it was me or if it was the next guy. They
Actual facts.
they killed it themselves, the upper leadership in SHH. If they want to be playing other games and do whatever, that's okay. But when it comes to driving the car, take the keys, give it to somebody else, and have them drive the car, because obviously something wasn't working in the last few months, and now it shows. And here we are.
Yeah. I mean, it does say a lot. I mean, I had a long time where I was inactive in my corporation, and there's a huge difference in how that affects each and every entity in the game. But at the end of it, it really came down to them not seeing me as much as they were used to. They're like, oh, you're not around anymore, you're not doing this. So now I do the line pilot thing. I kick back, I relax, I piddle putts around, I read patch notes.
Yeah, for sure.
But, it's just like, at the end of all of that, it's just, I'm no longer in that position, and I put myself there. And a lot of these leaders can't even take responsibility on that level. It's not that the alliances died, it's that the leadership gave up, or the leadership quit playing, or, caused an issue on the way out, so to speak, saying XYZ is the reason this and that happened. We can do that all day, mate. That's never not been a thing, even in EO. Let's be real. I mean, alliances live and die by their members, and without the membership having somebody to anchor to, it's the same as having a fleet show up without an anchor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I said, if you're gonna, and this is what I do on basically everything: my real life job, my Eve Echoes job, everything. Like if you're gonna commit to something, commit 100%. Like, don't say you're gonna do something and then not do it, right? And so I was always in favor for that. If I was gonna do something, I did that. When I was CEO, I was 100%. I was active every day, dealing with problems, doing CEO meetings, etc., playing the game. Even though I was broke, yeah, I was always broke because I'm having to watch other people make money or figure out how they can make money rather than me, right? But
Right.
again, I mean, a few months, maybe over a year ago, when Taylor was on this podcast, I had a skit where I was the SHH executor, right? And I kind of played this role of this bandit outlaw, where I was the SHH executor. I'm gonna get those content creators and make sure they die and all this stuff. And like, I had this whole skit, had the music, everything, and I was like, well, shoot, what if that would have actually came into fruition, right? But again, I don't think council would have ever agreed to that, and I have a feeling that is the case. But and I didn't even try. I mean, afterwards, it's like, well, I tried once back when Mr. Pay and MJD, and I think at the time Zen was the alliance leader, and I tried actually getting onto the council, and their reasoning was I was trying to get into position of power to benefit my corp when it came to like SOV decisions and all this stuff, and I was like, you people are dumb. You can't tell them otherwise. Like, whatever. They wanted to believe what they wanted to believe, but ultimately, I saw the writing on the wall. I was like, you know what? Okay, you want to play like that? Whatever. I'll just go back to my little hole, and I did that for a number of months before stepping down. And so, when we moved up into the alliance, I happened to be kind of moving up in the corp anyway. I ended up back into a leadership position. So now it's just like I'm being more active in the game, and I'm being more active in Discord and fixing problems and all this stuff. And I'm having fun with it. This is kind of where I like to be in place, right? So, but ultimately, yeah, that I think that's all we could say about on that, right? I think corporations are still trying to, I think as far as the gap in space, there shouldn't be really a big gap in space. Just corporations transferring alliances, all that stuff. But otherwise, we didn't really have to move. Now, I think there is going to be some movement anyway, just from these alliances trading SOVs and kind of consolidating a little bit because SHH was pretty spread out between all the corps. They'd have a Sov like 14 jumps away, and then they have another Sov. And so I think they're just going to try and consolidate a lot of that type of stuff. But yeah, anyway, it's a good run. To the pilots that I'm no longer in an alliance with, I guess, but still allied to, it was good flying with them, of course. Talking with them in alliance chat and doing trades and all that stuff. Of course, we're still here. My wife and I, if you know us that play the game, we're active every day, daily. I'm always on Discord. You could always hit us up, and I think at least the pilots that flown with me know that. But I think a lot of the pilots too that are just alliance wide that may not know that. It's like, well, yeah, I've always been available for the people. So regardless, I think that's all I got to say about that. It is what it is, right? So that much anticipated news, I couldn't wait to talk about it. Like, I kind of saved some of the conversations and all that stuff. I leaked it on the Gulag like on last Wednesday or something and got the ball rolling on there. And at the time, it was still very rumored. It was still very speculated, but I was like, I know for a fact corporations are leaving because I'm part of it. So at least if you're going to hear it from a reputable source and not like some Joe Schmo with a spy in some corp and he's like, well, I'm just a fly on the wall, but I think this is happening. Oh, okay. So like, at least you hear from me.
Very
right?
understandable place of being.
Yeah. I mean, there is a lot of that too. It's like, okay. Yep. Okay. Go do your thing. Yep. But I broke the news, and then it wasn't posted by me, but it was posted on the Echoes_Eve Reddit that it was rumored SHH is disbanding, and I don't think I commented on that, but there was some other people that had commented on it, and I updated those comments, so they got the shine, they got the light. So regardless, let's go on. Let's talk about how Final Blow went down. And this had caused a lot of, again, controversy, disputing, whatever. What say you? Final Blow goes down. In a recent update, developers made changes to the backend code, causing Final Blow website to not function correctly. So what it did is it had accesses to the game via kind of data mining, and I don't know how automated Final Blow Dev B had it. But it's very possible there was a bot that was doing that, or there was a bot in game that would look up based off a a macro. And what you would do is you would code it to look up, because you can look up if you put in your local chat. There's a I'll just call it a keystroke. You can type in a certain keystroke and you can pull up any kill mail in the game as long as you know that ID number. So if you can macro a bot to play the game just to type in local chat, kill mail ID, blah, 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 quotation mark, 100250, end quotation, hit enter, it'll pull that kill mail up, and then he could scrape it and post it onto a web UI, right? And so like that's probably the harder side of it, though it's possible that something like that is doing that. But the API kind of back-end data mining thing is kind of a bit more believable considering how that stuff works. So regardless, the devs kind of figured out what Final Blow was looking at, and they decided to make a remedy for that. So therefore, breaking that. And so I believe the website is still up. I haven't visited it recently ever since. But this was what, right around Christmas time last year, or maybe the first update of this year. It had to have been, it's been a few weeks now that this has been down. But regardless, let me finish this paragraph. Pilots' perception of this change has had mixed opinions. Lack of game API causes frustrations for such tools to develop for accurate statistics, unreported kill mails, and even manufacturing tools. While others praise the fact that they can hide their PvP and PvE losses as they otherwise would not report them. In developer Q&A sessions, they have said multiple times that an API is in the works, but it's been years since they first stated that. Now, the latest Q&A, they stated that an API won't happen. Now, that's secondhand information based off a comment of Mario from echoes.mobi. I wasn't present at this developer Q&A. I didn't do any of the translations or even the full reading of the entire thing. But if he thinks that an API is not going to happen, it's probably not going to happen. And it's been like this a while because him and Ha, they're like, oh yeah, where it's in development, and then somebody else will ask them and say, well, there's kind of some security features that we're looking into, and we may not do it because of these, and et cetera, et cetera. And so who knows what their disposition is, because it seems to be quite a flip-flop with them. Yeah, Nessival, word of the day, regardless. In the meantime, the developer of Final Blow is working on a fix for the website to be able to pull kill mails in real time. Now, Mario's echoes.mobi is still functioning, but it relies on having pilots upload their kill mail to the bot and posting it in like a channel that is dedicated to kill mails. The downside of that is the pilots can manipulate the photos and trick the bot into fudging the numbers. And people do that a lot. Whatever the cheese is for the ores or what have you, that people do that. You know, it's not uncommon. And I think on the Gulag, they're talking about bringing the echoes.mobi bot back so it automatically posts kill mails. And Airbus had said, no, he's not going to, because of the stupid teenagers that manipulate the kill mails anyway. They just fudge them regardless. And there's a lot of Photoshop that happens. That's kind of where the term Photoshop comes from, right? When we use it is when you're photoshopping clown cars onto kill mails, or you're photoshopping your name onto a super carrier kill mail that you weren't even present in, right? On top of adding zeros and all this bullshit. But that is the downside. That's why Final Blow was so great, because not only did you have the snuggly rating versus the dangerous rating, but you had statistics and you saw real-time kill mails and all this stuff. I think they still had a little bit of a delay, but like you could still see like, oh, what does this dude fly? You type his name in and it's like, okay, he likes to fly in a Mach. He's most likely a Mach. You know that without even seeing him. You just see him pinged in Intel, right? And so people can prepare. There's a lot of there's the ethical side of things, and then there's a non-ethical side of things, and then people kind of were doing the fine line between that, and maybe some people weren't using the tool to its non-ethical extents, use case, but
Yeah.
it was still very nice. And I used it for Final Blow Mountain, or Echoes Mobi Mountain. That segment from last year. Now, with this season, with the podcast this year, I actually want to make it more low effort, and so I actually removed that segment from the podcast. That it was just so much, and sometimes I just never got around to it, and so I was like, you know what, I'm not going to do Moby Mountain. But since Final Blow kind of came to an end, at least for now, I'm like, well, I guess it's time just to rest Moby Mountain. It was fun for the year that I did it. Got to see some cool kill mails and all that stuff, but I think it was time to retire that project because, yeah, it was very time consuming. Anyway, regardless, Nessival, regardless, take a shot.
Wind up coming up with a new one.
Yeah, right. We called it Blow Me Mountain, actually. Yeah. Yeah. So that was it for the Final Blow discussion there that I had on that. Did you have a comment on that, Raymond?
I mean, honestly, I don't, because they've said since the beginning of EE that API access would be a major issue. They were most likely not going to allow that access. So it's not really surprising when you think about it. If you want an accurate kill board like you would see from EO, you have to have that API backdoor. And without that back door, you're never going to get factual numbers. I mean, how many wars rode the back of Final Blow, and tallied their kill numbers up from that? How many of those actual listings were factual to the dollar? How many of them were manipulated by the pilot? So on and so forth. And it just way too many questions. And so I personally never really based our, I guess, our wins and losses off of Final Blow, but it did give people an idea of how people fit their ships.
Hmm.
Even the shit fits.
Oh yeah.
It's like you got to learn from mistakes. And so when you see stuff like that, and you're like, well, how the hell did this die? And you look at its fit, well, it kind of answers its own questions.
Hmm. Oh yeah, I loved watching, or at least looking at, the PVE loss mails.
Mhm.
Gate guns, drones, DR, all that stuff, where it's like, okay, people lost a super. They try being hush hush about it, and then it pops up on Final Below like, this thing was 2 trillion and you lost it a DR4. What a dumbass. You know what I mean? And it's like, you you don't otherwise get that unless you do, and they take shit for it. But ultimately, it is what it is. But, um, I especially enjoyed it for the Science losses, because they would go to these high sec mountains, these high sec islands, and they do their AFK, and they'd warp in like on a purple anomaly and get absolutely wrecked by an NPC
Wrecked.
Science. And it's like,
And
dude,
be so mad about it.
yeah. And they don't otherwise say anything. They're corporations that nobody's ever heard of, high sec corp only, whatever, Joe Schmo Crab Shack, high sec mining, whatever it is. Like, you never, but then also too, you got the reputable corps. It's like, okay, well, they take losses, but they also get a lot of kills too, and you can see all that. And it was good for what it was, and maybe it will come back, and we'll just have to see whether or not the dev of Final Blow will be able to get that back. But of course, NetEase will probably counter that and hide the IDs and whatever they did. Although I don't know exactly what they did. They just changed something in the code to break whatever Final Blow was looking at, and so it's like it's kind of crazy, because you got people that know how to code against people that know how to code, right? Almost like hackers and ethical hackers, all this stuff. But anyway,
Ethical hacking? What
there
is
is
even that?
there is such thing as
Go
ethical
on with
hacking.
that story.
There is such thing about that, right? Yeah. What? Yeah, I think I've seen a CNC with all DPS mods on it, like full blown glass fit, and they still couldn't do something. I forget what it was. But I over the last year doing natural selection on the Moby mountain, dude. I mean, you get every flavor of Sciency. Basically, you get the fit ones, you get the unfit ones, you get just everything under the sun with those. So it was pretty funny. All
Oh
right.
yeah.
So continuing on, they had their developer Q&A. Now, I'm
That
not
was a
on.
diatribe.
Raven, were you present here? Did anybody actually watch this video, or was this solely for kind of like the Chinese server in Bilibili?
I think it was solely for Bilibili I saw on. I didn't see an English saw on release. Seemed like it was just all Chinese. So I think that was the only release, and it got streamed to YouTube, thankfully. Makes it a
Yeah.
little easier to understand. But when I say these guys go on and on about things you may not want to hear, they do that. They go on and on about things that sound cool at first, but we all know how that is.
Yeah. So I pulled up the video on my screen here of at least the Bilibili. If people want to watch it, they could always reach out to me. I have the link, and I could share it for listeners. But again, it's all in Chinese, so I don't know how many people actually will watch this on the NA server. But I did notice that they started off with this Iveco song. which I think it's a banger. I actually like this song. But so they played that, and again they were. It's kind of like this this beanbag living room kind of stream, right, where they're talking, and you know, you got the four. Granted, I couldn't tell you who any of these people are. I don't know if Cloud is in here. I don't know really any of, and they probably do introductions, but again, I can't understand Chinese, so I don't really know. But seemingly, they did a bunch of Q&A, and they had also given, you know, a bunch of codes to be able to give to the pilots that were spectating it too. So I'm just skipping through the video here, but they did show a number of graphics here too for people to look at, I guess. But it looks like these are some of the ship kind of concept designs that they're planning on adding into the game, and like this one's a Raven. I think also there's like a Vindicator in here and a bunch of other stuff. What is this? Is this like an ORE mixes with a Vindicator? Yeah. What is this?
This is a new mining vessel.
Okay.
It's a new mining barge, to be fair. I didn't really get a chance to figure out what the fitting sets were, but this is going to be one of the new mining equipments going out there. I've seen it in EVE Online. I just can't remember the name of it.
All right. So
I don't understand Chinese, so I had to kind of cross-reference as I went.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I'm just skipping through the video here. Though I will say, due to a brilliant pilot in New Eden, they did do some screen caps for me, provided me some screenshots. So I did take just a number of them, just a few of them, I mean. But this screen cap, this looks like they're talking about something about like super gates, not a super carrier gate, but
super Ansiblix gates.
Super Ansiblix gates. So I don't know if this is it. It may look like it because you see the kind of the ships going in and out here.
Mm-hmm.
But here's another view of it. It does look cool for sure. This thing's got to be massive in space, though. I mean, look, these are Nidhoggers, Visagos potentially. You got Chimera. You know, these are capital ships, and these things are dwarfed by this gate. It's just absolutely huge. Like there might even be a hell in there too. But yeah, this thing's like the size of the sun. You're freaking warping into it. But so there's that. Oh, I guess I didn't have all the screenshots up yet. But I don't know. For whatever reason I had those picked out. But anyway, here's a video recap, and of course this was translated. The special 2026 presentation. So you may not have known this, especially if you're banned on the official EE Discord. They released a survey for pilots to do, and in that survey they had I don't know, I guess basic questions, you know, to be expected type of questions, and they had 1,476 pilots fill that survey. So it'd probably be double that if their mod team didn't ban everybody under the sun. So, I mean, I got to take a shot when I can, right? Upon that survey, they released some info as to, you know, the answers, right? So 68% flies with us for over 3 years. The people loved the Jinhai expedition in 2025. I'm not exactly sure which event that was. People want to have Titans, T3 ships, and super Ansiblix gates. So we kind of hinted there. Space fireworks will hit the stores soon. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if that's in addition to like their latest Supercore, or just this Osspice nanocore with the fireworks on it once you upgrade it. But when so we've seen this in the past, right? ITCs, when they're doing their events, they shoot fireworks, like Jita, for instance. Dude, it looks awesome shooting fireworks from the ITC, and it does that 24/7, right? It's got to be trillions of dollars of fireworks that they're blowing off on these events. Regardless, I know it's a weird joke, but what if we have dragons going around our citadels? We have anime girls dancing on top of our citadels. Okay, I kind of foresee we're getting fireworks on our citadels someday, so that will be legit. All right, what'd you post here, Nessival? Pioneer Mining Destroyer, the Odysseus Exploration Command Ship, Mining UX enhancements. Oh, so that screenshot is possibly the mining destroyer called a Pioneer.
Okay. Yes, that's what I was just looking up right now.
And then he had posted another screenshot of the Odysseus. Odysseus. Okay. So there's that. Okay, space fireworks. Top 3 concerns at the moment are Ember Seas, nanocore integration, and balance adjustments. Balance adjustments are always going to be something that they're going to have to, maintain. That is not going to be new. So I don't even know why we would even bring that up as to a concern. Balance adjustments naturally are going to happen regardless. Now, nanocore integration, whatever they mean by Ember Sea, I'm not sure. Maybe pay to win events. But the nanocore integration, I understand that can be a bit confusing, a bit laggy even. They even took out some of the reprocess. Did they take away the reprocessing of gold nanocores or something? I don't know. They did something. I don't do it very often, and so I'm not a master of knowledge when it comes to certain aspects of the game. Like, I'm good at general knowledge, and that's about it, right? I don't master in a single thing, and so that's why I would refer to somebody who's done that, right? Or knows more than I do. At least then I could say, well, you know more than I do, so you can talk about it. But there you go. Top 3 concerns. Commitments for 2025 were ship balance, capital ship improvement, and to simplify daily tasks. So quality of life for sure. Balance adjustments, we already know, they're doing fixes, they're releasing content and then nerfing other content, bug fixes, etc., adding stuff to the game. We know that they've been doing that type of stuff. We're committed to create a more diverse and enjoyable game for every player in 2026. Okay. We will reform the insurance system. OMG, I should put in quotations. What is this? The 6th insurance reform? It's like every time we have a Q&A, they're talking about insurance being reformed again. It happens twice a year at this point. But there you go. That's what they're going to say. I don't know if they're actually going to do it yet. There's a couple other things too that they've said they're going to do in the past and they still haven't done them. But there you go. Insurance at 6.0 at this time. More constellations will open up. Yes, we know that. There's definitely constellations out there in the outer regions that still aren't open yet. So that is kind of to be expected that they're going to do 1 or 2 regions this next year. Easier nanocore switching. Again, super laggy. Could be confusing. It could just be better. Yeah, so I agree with them there. Nerf the bomb system. Increase the strength of assault ships and the missile system. Now again, I don't really use missiles or bombs from the bombers, but if they need nerfed, okay. I still find it amusing that when the bombs came out, what you could do is you shoot a bomb, hit your MWD, and you can kill yourself with the bomb. Improve our anti-bot mechanism. So again, that's probably going to be an ongoing fight. And now I do know that their anti-bot mechanism is at least working because accounts are getting banned. Even accounts that aren't actually botting but accused of botting are still getting the bans. And so there is that. But botting is probably always going to be an issue. And depending on what mechanisms are being watched, then I'm sure the bots will evolve there. Balance adjustments for armor resistance. Okay. Is shield still king? I don't know if shield's still king. It used to be. People like doing armor fleets and stuff, but ability to
Mm,
replay old content.
yeah, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. I'm highly intrigued by such a uh, thing, mostly due to the fact of how many times there's been an event pass by and somebody's this close to getting that nano that they wanted, and the event ended and they had to stop. That's where I see that probably coming in, is to kind of, relieve a lot of the complaints coming in about that.
Mm-hmm.
What do I do with this leftover crap in my hangar?
Yeah, right. Yeah, replay old content. So Sun Chaser missions, shoot, old events, probably too. Key content for 2026 will be Titans, tougher PvE missions, sovereignty changes, ship naming, dun dun dun, sound effects, improvements to the bomb system. Okay. So again, here's the conversation about Titans. I don't know if we were supposed to get them last year. That was the talks. Tougher PvE missions, right? Yeah, supers need something to do. Sovereignty changes. Hard to say whether or not we're gonna get. I'm just not knowledgeable with like how EO did their sovereignty. Whether or not there's above a T5 Citadel or whatever. But something's gonna happen with Sov. Ship naming. We've been saying this for 3 years or longer, possibly. That ship naming was going to be a thing, as well as containers, and that never came to fruition. And so, yeah, for the people that want to name their stabber the Mr. Longschlong, there you go. To be determined. Sound effects. Now, for the people that are actually that have sound on in the game, I do know of some YouTubers that will record and they have all the sounds activated, and I'm like, is that what that sounds like? Their sound effects. You ever watch that?
It's
You
like,
ever
wait a
watch some
minute.
of these content creators that they're not like official, but they just log in and they hit screen record and it records them like mining or something. And you hear all the little nicks and the knacks and the bloop and warp drive active and all this stuff. I'm like, shoot. It's been ages since I've heard those sound effects because I turned all that stuff off. I don't want to hear the music. I don't want to hear the sound effects. None of that. So
Right.
then improvements to the bomb system. So seemingly they are wanting to, but above they said nerf it, and here they want to say they want to improve it. So they'll probably end up changing it up so it kind of benefits gameplay or something like that.
Right.
Some other core gameplay mechanics will be implemented. The ship loan system, offline revenue, make ISK while offline. What?
That sounds good, but let's see if they can even get renaming right before we start putting our chips in the hat.
Yeah. How about I just come up with Joe Schmo insurance, and I'm gonna rule it into law that you have to pay for insurance on your ship, and then I cover the bill. And then not only do I take the payments of hundreds of thousands of pilots, but I also have to provide insurance for when their ship blows up, right? So I would have to do all these, ship recoveries, all this. I'm making money.
This is also going to redefine what we consider to be a whale in the game.
Yeah. Because that broker right now is probably hella rich. Every time you get contract brokers and all this, they're like, where's that money going? Does it actually disappear, or is it going into somebody's wallet? You never know. Dun dun dun. One of the conspiracies of this game, in case you didn't realize it. Who is the broker? There's always a broker in some sort of trade or contract, but you never get a name. They're always taking ISK, right? There's always something. Anyway, sound effects. So other core gameplay. Okay, so we just talked about that. Offline revenue. I have, unless it's a gold nanocore type of bot thing that's out in space flying for you while you're not even logged in. I don't know how else that's gonna be. But if you do the ship loan system, where you loan it to like NPCs or something, they use your ship and go ratting with it. I could see that being a thing. But why is this a thing though?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what it was they were saying about it. Like I say, I'm not fluent at all. But I can say that it the only thing I can think that would actually work like that without it being on an AI system would have to be like doing marketing runs like you would in EO. You'd set up certain buy and sell orders and you'd run it like a business in a way. I don't fucking know. I
We
mean,
okay.
to be fair, like, we could look at it like, okay, so what if I launched all my pie kind of situation and we put jobs up on the board for people to pick up and they got to go and pick up all your pie and drop it off to get paid. I could see something like that, player created missions, so and so forth.
Yeah,
Those are some ideas.
yeah. But like chat saying, it's like, why even play? Just play the game. It's no. I think it's one reason why all the prices of everything is so inflated is because freaking bots playing the game, or these AI nanocores are just grinding ISK all day, and then of course that gets nerfed down to 8 hours a day. And look where we're at, right? So it's like
Right.
now people have to do that just to keep up with
Yeah.
ISK generation
Yeah.
and all this stuff. And it's like, geez, yeah,
And you think about that, they proposed that on the back of talking about how the player base seems to be growing. And I'm as a player, I'm wondering where this growth is.
yeah,
I don't know about you guys, but please show me where this revolving door of new players is coming from. Most
we
likely alts, but yeah.
we are getting some, and it is very it is known that yes, a lot of alts are born, but there are some new players that join, and I see them on recruiting discords all over New Eden. It's like, okay, is this dude actually green, or is he just pretending to be dumb to get into your corp, right? And so understandably, yeah, it's, who knows on that. But at the end of the day, I don't really agree with offline revenue generation. I mean, isn't that what POSs are? Mining planetary for
That
you?
that's
Like that's
that's
offline
exactly what I look at that as. Yeah, pie farming mods, your pigs, your rigs, whatever you want to fucking call them. I mean, if you want to offline revenue, that's it. I mean,
Mhm.
outside of running AI for 8 hours and making sure you do it in a place where you've either A, got the kind of security you can do that in null, or you're taking your butt to a high sec island and not being a side sea pilot.
You know what another good offline revenue is? Blackmail. Anyway, going.
Yes.
Anyway, continuing on.
Yes.
Um, Nanocore integrations. They want to optimize sovereignty monopoly, decrease requirements for dormants, new skill level for corporation tech, new equipment system, AI improvements, chat improvements, 3D holographic packs, and visible titles in space. So,
The visible titles in space, I can see a lot of the vets getting behind, hey, I'm in my group, I can activate my title kind of
yeah,
thing. As long as it's something you can turn off or turn on, I can see that being acceptable. But if it's just something that happens because you did the mentor program or you did the faction warfare or something like that, and then you can't turn it off or on when you want, it might be a little problematic for some.
yeah. I just want something that'll post in Alliance chat when you log in. The big cheese has entered the chat, and then has the big old title comes up on the screen. That's
Reminds me of that scene from Family Guy where he pulls up in that long penis mobile and it just keeps driving by, and then he shows up.
Yeah. Yeah, so the sovereignty monopoly is an interesting one to see there. So I don't, regardless, you look at take a shot. You look at the map and you see a majority of sovereignty owned by certain entities, right? I mean, at this point, if you're listening to this show, you probably know of more than one alliance, and it's not the one that you're in, right? Um, there's things that they probably acknowledge, the devs, I mean, that need a change. And so whether or not that's optimizing it or putting limits to certain things, I can see that happening. But decrease requirements for dormants, that one I also find interesting too, considering people are doing like DR4 in 22 seconds or whatever the shit. But DR2, what requirements are there for DR2? I don't know. How are they going to decrease requirements? It's already relatively easy.
The only thing I know is that with the DRs, all right, you do have ship requirements. Like you can't have over a certain ship type, but you also can't fly under a certain ship type in some of them. Perhaps people are saying they want to take a frigate crew in there and wipe DR3. Who knows? Whatever floats their nuggy. But I mean,
yeah, and that's what I'm thinking too. Is like people want to do DR3, but in frigates, and you can do your own type of class, right? It's like, okay, frigates only DR3, and then they have a leaderboard, or they could do BS only or capitals allowed, all that type of stuff, and have maybe multiple leaderboards, if that's maybe what they're trying to do. But DR3, DR4 is like capitals, right? DR2 you do in battleships, and I don't even know if anyone does DR1, honestly. I don't think there's a want or need to, because you do DR2 and it's 2 minutes a piece and you get all the rewards. You could do, 10 runs or 6 runs relatively quickly with a good group and just be done with it. Or you spend DR1 or even DR3, because DR3 is like 14 to 20 minutes depending on your squad. And that's with like capitals even. It's like you got 14 minutes dedicated time that you're going to be in there protecting that nester. Rather than you could just do DR4 and do all 6 runs in like 10 minutes with capitals, the same ships. So I don't know. Anyway, new skill level for corporation tech. What are we at now? We at like, I haven't looked at corp tech for probably over a year, but are we at 7? Or
7 is what we're at last I looked at it.
So new skill level for corporation tech. So this is probably going to be 500 billion to unlock, level 8. And it probably has an army that fights for you. All AI.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true. I was just bullshitting, but I wouldn't be surprised at this time. AI improvements, chat improvements. Okay. 3D holographic packs. I don't know if that's those sticker things that they're trying to work on.
I want to say yes, they are.
Now I find this one to be interesting to be summed up. I don't know if this was was typed in by the person who provided this to me, but the return of pay-to-win events. 10% discount on supply boxes, navigator program, login benefits, returning player events, return of popular ship boxes, and limited to swiping only nanocores. What? There's no way the dev said that, or it was translated. However the heck, but
I'll be honest with you. That last bit to me, it's just a reiteration of what we already expect from NetEase.
Yeah.
Anytime the money stops flowing enough, here comes a new event. Here comes a new nanocore. And you won't be able to get that nanocore without swiping a credit card until probably a year from after it was released.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this new nanocore, just for the basic capital one. The basic capital one is $310 US if you were to swipe all the AUR to get all 10 boxes. $310. And the super one was a range of $800 to $1,400 based off
Yep.
your RNGesus luck.
Yep.
So
Yep.
crazy. Yeah. Of course we're gonna be getting that.
And then at the same time, of course, we've got people trying not to get banned for RMT. We won't talk into much of that, will we?
Right. AOA just banned a guy for RMT. Oh wait, he was scamming too. All right, here's the in-game codes. I have them on my screen. Quickly, I'll just read them. Eve Gift 2026, Eve Doji 2026, NE Eve Doge 2026, NE Omega 2026, NE Skill 2026, and NE Eve Gift 2026. Now, I know these first four, at least they worked on my account, and I logged into my account. I had no mail. And so they must be pranking us or something. Or these were codes for the Chinese server, which I think we were talking at the beginning of the show that that was the case. These are for the Chinese server. But like these last two, I did those and it said I'd already claimed them or something like that. So it is what it is. Try them. Don't have your hopes up for like a billion SP or anything, because these are probably just 5,000 if anything. That's if they even work. Yeah, we didn't spend enough money. Now, if you're on Android, of course, you redeem the codes in game. If you're on iOS, you have to go to a website. I have that website as a link right here that you click into, and it'll claim your reward. Okay, patch notes. We are on to the patch notes. Can you believe it? Holy crap. It feels like I've been talking forever. Holy crap. I've only been talking like an hour and 20 minutes. Jeez.
Oh yeah, man. That was not a light breath, bro. I mean, between you and I over NetEase's silliness here, we'll spin the wheels for a minute, mate.
Man, I have something to listen to for
even longer.
4 days.
Patch notes are even longer, bro. Dude, buckle up.
We gotta talk about some patch notes. Yeah, the Rambler. So, patch notes. Bring it up here from the 21st. So, I'm just going to skip through a lot of this stuff and kind of sum it up. Give my experience on maybe a couple things. And, of course, the chat if you want to bring anything up as well. But we got the Auspice Nanocore. I don't see it pronounced any other way, so don't flame me for that. But the AU Spice Nanocore, Auspice, that's how I kind of see it. Brand new Auspice Nanocores are now available. Auspice at your door, blessings by the thousand. And so these are cool because they have dragons on them. Of course, we got the new splash screen with the dragons on them that my iPad doesn't like. So as you noticed, if you were to log in on multiple different devices, the resolution of the background is different on my iPad versus my phone, versus the emulator, all that. Regardless, take a shot. This has an attribute where damage increases all damage types, including EM, thermal, kinetic, and explosive damage. When the special mode is activated, damage dealt to NPC targets increased by 20%, and weapon cycle time is reduced by 20%. Damn, that's a pretty good crab core, honestly. That is that's interesting. That is interesting. So they are definitely going after the people that are ratting and attacking these NPCs. But I could also see this as a benefit to DR, So
the problem here is this next piece where it says you can also press and hold the mode icon to invest ISK to enhance the mode. After enhancement, the damage dealt to NPC targets increases to 50%, and weapon cycle time is down by 20% as per the original cycle time.
Yeah.
And the inherent problem with this alone, right, is first off, you're not killing rats to go broke. You're killing rats for fast cash. And it's not even a lot, let's be real. All
Mhm.
right. Probably wouldn't even be able to afford you pressing and holding that button. So, what the actual Effenheim did they decide they were going to Frankenfly?
You can also press and hold the mode icon to invest ISK to enhance the mode. That's just funny right there. I could
That's
Has
the
anybody
realest
tried this?
statement I've ever heard.
I could
Pay
just
to
see
win,
my
baby. Let's go.
what if you accidentally start holding that and it's just like you watch your wallet just draining, just decrease, decrease, decrease. After
What'll be
enhancement
funny is
damage.
watching these guys show up to fleet fights and forgetting that it only works on NPCs.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I invest in billions of ISK. I wonder if that's a
Hey,
one
get one kill mail.
50 million per use. Huh? I don't have this nanocore, so I'm not entirely sure. I typically don't swipe for nanocores, especially for capitals. I don't have a need to. Um, so yeah, it's just I'm pretty sure if I do the event, I can get one for a battleship. But yeah, this is interesting. I'd probably rock this nanocore on a battleship. But if I were to have it on a capital, I'm not paying $310. I'll wait 6 months from now and it'll come in an opt box.
Right.
So applies a resonance mark to the current target. Okay, new visual effects. When the Auspice Nanocore is equipped and idle, a fireworks display is shown, and the fifth secondary attribute is unlocked. And all the secondary attributes are refactored and overclocked or higher. The fireworks display will require further upgrade. So I know I had an image, I had a screenshot of the the levels when you upgrade the nanocore. Each level unlocks like an additional, you get the dragons initially and then you get some small fireworks, and then by the time you fully upgrade it, you got freaking the fireworks over Disneyland over your ship, and it gets pretty intense. It's crazy. It does look pretty cool. I do like the fact that the devs are developing cool stuff that is intriguing to the eye while in space. But um, with some of the other effects that could be debatable, but at least they're doing something. All right, mission sharing protocol designed to improve cooperation among capsuleers in New Eden. They hold designated mission contracts, act as publishers, and can share combat objectives with other capsuleers, allowing them to complete high difficulty missions together and earn rewards.
This is
Okay.
to nurture the new Tech 10 players out there coming
Mhm.
in that aren't used to that kind of content, being able to ride the coattails of somebody like Broderick or yourself or myself or someone other that has run this content before and is capable of doing it successfully. People that get frustrated or quit the game because they go to do that one bit of mission and lose their ship and they're trying to figure out how to get back there. So, I mean, as far as nurturing new player growth, I think that's a good step.
Yeah. And so they had a whole paragraph about this mission sharing, talking about its visibility, its time limits, its restrictions, its reward distribution, all that stuff. And people that are interested, they can refer back to the patch notes. So here, limited missions, a new Waste Seeker renewal series of mission contracts has been added. So yeah, they added the Waste Seeker event in the events page, so you can be able to do that. And of course, it opens gradually over the next couple weeks, and so you can only get so far before it stops you, and it says you have to wait a couple days until the next batch of Waste Seeker anomalies spawn. But typically, I wait a little bit because then I do them all in one shot and just get them all over with. It does have a medal for completing most of them. I think on the fourth or fifth wave, you don't actually get anything but merit points, if I
Right.
recall correctly. But you can complete up to the fourth level and get the medal. There you go.
Right.
There. Okay, new
The
emoji
emoji
system.
system is gonna be cool, in my opinion, with all the dynamic stickers, all the different emoji types they're coming out with. I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah. Standard emojis. A new batch of emojis has been added. New throw interaction. Dynamic emojis with projectile trajectories have been added and can be thrown at designated targets. So how about this? How about in space I'll be throwing snowballs at you?
Basically,
How about
mate.
money? Can you
Yeah.
throw money? Would that be, is that NSW?
What's that one? What's the one sticker they came out with the kitty balls on it?
Oh
Just
yeah.
throw kitty balls at people.
Yeah. Crazy cat lady throwing cats. There's potential for that where you can make it fun, but of course they probably have to be like politically correct or something like, well, you can't have that in a game. There's kids that play this game.
Right.
But snowballs I could see probably being fun. You probably have snowball fight. But I don't know which projectiles that we're able to be thrown at other targets. Just don't know. But I guess it's a wait and see. Wait, this is already in the game. Has anybody seen this yet?
I have not seen it yet. No, not in action.
Yeah, I haven't seen this yet. So, yeah, they're in the game already, but I wonder if they're part of. Okay, so they are snowballs. They're fun. Cool. How do you get them? Is that through the event? Did I probably AFK? And I collect the rewards. Yeah, the event. I collect the rewards. I don't even know what
Gotcha.
the rewards are. Aside from SP,
Right.
that's all I care about. I could care less about coupons. I could care less about boxes. All I need is SP.
I'll take my gimmies right now. Thank you.
Yes. Give me the SP. It's all I pay for. Give me all the SP. Okay, so I'm going to have to check that out. That is just me being dumb. All right. So, how to obtain available through the Visual Protocol Reconstruction event draw. Reprocessing emojis can be reprocessed to obtain illusory coins, which can be used to draw emojis again. Okay. I do have some emojis from the last wave, just from having extra cats and dogs. I think I even destroyed them, so maybe now I can reprocess them to get these coins to be able to draw some new emojis. So, all right. Then the Way Seeker Combat Test, we were just talking about that from January 22nd to February 25th is the duration of that event. And of course, during that time, a batch of stages will unlock every 3 days with 3 major stages per batch. So LP, merit, special medal. I don't think there's more than one medal, if I remember. I think there's only one, and then there's award vouchers. So B-Town had posted in the on-air chat the Raven. Let me pull that up here. Yeah. I had a list of screenshots from the video, and I opened up all the tabs on my browser, and then for whatever reason my browser wanted to restart, and then I lost all the tabs again, so I had to do it all over again, and I didn't do as many. And
that's the Odysseus just below that.
The Odysseus SOE ship. I know there's some people that are really, really into the SOE stuff, and so they will probably like that ship. But granted, it's probably going to be very expensive, of course, as well as Nestor pilots know the cost on some of those things. No, it's not. Yeah, I don't fly SOE, so I don't really know, but seeing Nestor Lost Mails, I mean, they're more than I can afford.
Yeah.
That's for daggone sure. Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
So
that's the Odysseus. I'm sorry, it had the big globe on the bottom of it, back of it, whichever one. It's accurate. That's the right picture versus the one that he put up before. So I was incorrect.
Okay, so that other one is just a different ship? The one that's above it?
I can't remember which one it was. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's a wait and see on that SOE version. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they change it up a little bit to make it differ from the EVE Online variant.
Right, exactly.
All right. Logistic ship adjustments to reduce piloting and fitting costs to improve logistics ship performance in standard combat. Logistics ships will be optimized and streamlined. These changes mainly affect SOE and Yangjung ships. So there you go. Pilots that like to fly Logi get some love. Yeah, Stereo, Stardos, Nestor, they all get some bonuses. All right, Yangjung even. Medium to close range
Yeah.
remote shield, Zanyu, Canyu Striker, Canyu Logistics Assault, Wang Yu. They all got some buffs, it looks like, so that's pretty cool. The ships that seemingly nobody flies. All right.
Yeah, and the good thing is like they said in the modules here, the remote armor reppers requiring a quarter less of the power grid to get equipped because they've traditionally been bad because they're so expensive to equip. So
All right. And actually, and B Town had posted in the on air chat some of these additional things from the live stream that we can also hit on, because some of these we didn't actually talk about in the stuff that I had. All right, so we'll come back to that, B Town. We'll come back to that. All right, Empire ships, 8 logistics frigates and logistics cruisers will be retired from active service. After retirement, they will be removed from the ship tree and moved to the depreciated items market category. Dun dun dun. RIP. These ships can still be manufactured, piloted, and insured. Insurance will no longer receive preferential discounts. Okay. New event, we know about it. So there you go, new arrivals. We got the Nano Core, including the Dragon Chant. The phone is going off.
mhm.
Okay, mute. Okay, so Nano Core adjustment preview. After the 4th of February update, we will implement the following changes. The decryption key, which is used to open Nanocore collection, will be removed from the Concord Pass shop and will not return once removed. Uh-oh. And what about all those keys I've been buying with my Concord Pass points for like months? Unbelievable. Am I going to get refunded? The Nanocore Collection store will be closed and replaced with the Nanocore Collection Lucky Draw box. The Lucky Draw box is purchased with decryption keys and inherits the Capsuleer's accumulated guaranteed drop count from the original collection store. Okay. And it'll be added to Concord Pass shop. It includes research for frigates, cruisers, battleships, and other tonnage categories. Okay. The valuable item transaction protection. Do you find it funny that they made an event tab specifically for this?
Yeah. But they're giving you 5 million Lazarus points
Yeah.
for completing the task.
They're giving you some Laz points, but they want to make sure that you can't get scammed. Scamming obviously is still a big issue in New Eden. People are getting scammed all the time. People are attempting scams. People are selling accounts and then getting access to those accounts and then scamming, whatever, right? Obviously, NetEase is trying to implement some things, some securities in place to be able to do that. So, of course, you get rewarded when you do it, but you could just turn it off again. But, I mean, honestly, it's not a bad thing to do this, because say you do sell an account and somebody tries activating this, they somehow they acquire an account, right? And they try robbing that account of whatever its assets are. Well, over a certain value, obviously it's going to want the password for that stuff. And so heck, that's even a scam per the seller. Could you imagine that? Be like, yeah, I got 3T worth of assets. My character's worth like $4,000. and I'm gonna sell it, right? And then I sell it to some lucky person, and the password is enabled on it. And then now this person that thought they acquired 3T in assets can't do anything with it. Well, I mean, they could. I mean, it's still on that account. They can't just take it off that account. Regardless,
No.
take a shot.
And that's a good thing in that regard specifically.
New star map optimization and issue fixes. So this new star map, where they put it on the screen, really fucks up my ability to log out of the game. Am I the only one that's affected by that? Because right where they put the settings, because I don't just force close the app. I actually click on my guy, I click on the settings, and then I quit the game from there, right? So I'm officially closing the game through the settings. Now they put the new star chart right next to that, so just muscle memory. I want to click on the new star chart every time I want to quit the game. So I got to acknowledge that. Talk about quality of life. I mean, WTF. I'm over here accessing where my corporation members are, and I'm trying to quit the game. I don't care how many rats died in the last 24 hours. I want to quit the game.
I'm just trying to log off, damn it.
Yeah, damn it. Trying to log off. Yeah, you could still use the old star charts too. I mean, the new one is cool. I'm all about that, but I'm ready for them to fuse the two together into the one star charts. So we still technically don't have the 3D star map like they do on EVE Online. So maybe that's down the road. All
One
right.
can hope.
They added system memory settings feature. Star map settings are now retained after relogging. Quick access, star map entries. Okay. Prompt message. Optimizations, ship fittings now support equipped multiple fighters and lightweight ships. Improve this travel speed when multiple Cavaliers pass through stargates at the same time. That's interesting. Remember when people would all jump the gate? Remember in these large fleets back when, where you had like 600 people all trying to jump the gate at the same time, and then people get on the other side of the gate and they black screen, or they get put into a queue. Like, I'm 75th to get through this gate. Oh wait, now I'm 34th. Oh, now I'm going through the gate. Yeah, man. Newer players do not know the struggles we had to deal with back then. That's crazy. Man, it's crazy stuff. All right. Yeah, just to reminisce, just to talk about that. Isn't that just insane? Are we getting old or what? Jeez.
Well, I mean, as far as this game's concerned, we are.
All right. Improve the sorting of saved locations. Locations that cannot be reached are now listed last. All right. Bug fixes. Fixed an incorrect description of corrosive dust. Fixed an issue where identity credentials were exposed while in cloaking mode. Nice. Here's your social security number. Whoops.
Right.
Fixed an issue where structures such as the jammer towers could not be locked. Fixed an issue where certain abnormal electric warfare ship skins displayed ships that were not available. Okay. That was it.
That sounds like an interesting bug to have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. It's like, well, it says I can have this nanocore, but I can't find it. Okay. That's it. Let me go through my tabs here, make sure I got everything. Yeah, patch notes, the gates, we talked about that stuff. Oh, let's talk about this, right? So I don't officially have Moby Mountain or natural selection or anything, but I figure during these podcasts, I could always throw in like a slide of a big kill or something to make fun of, right? So here, I got this one for you. What the fuck is this fit right here? Paratel.
What the shit fit?
Yeah, what the shit fit? Like, legit. Come on. I gotta mute my phone because this is just going crazy right now.
I just want to know how high karate was when putting this thing together. I understand high karate is a cologne. I'm not talking about that, because if that's the case, we could all smell him from this kill mail.
Yikes.
But not the point. How high was this guy putting this thing together? Who
So
who went in and tormented this man to such an extent that he spent that much on an orca?
yeah, how much melt brain do you honestly have to have 122 billion orca? Like
I mean, that's half a
what?
Lancer, mate. That's a,
So
that's a vase. Hull.
because I got high, because I got yeah. I mean, I think what did he think he was like fitting a Rourke or something? Like, I mean,
I don't
shoot.
know, mate. But that
Regardless,
man, somebody buy that man a beer because he spent all
oh my
his
god.
money on his orca.
And of course, Captain Bobo gets it right in his succubus solo. And I know Bobo, and he listens to this show. Shout out to Bobo. But I asked him. I sent him a screenshot. I said, "Dude, why is this orca so expensive?" He got back to me. He said, "T4 fully integrated rigs, the modified defense mods, modified defense mods." He was thinking, another bloody orca, and he couldn't believe the kill mail. 122B. That, with
It's
a
like
beeve
the
mod,
SD,
with a beeve mod, what are they like 25 as a lost mail?
something like
25B.
that.
They
Something like that,
did
yeah.
they did creep up to like 30, 32 for some of the higher end
Mhm.
orcas, but a beeve mod is like 22 to 23, right around that range in value of the kill mail. And the orcas maybe 2 to 3B.
I mean, to be respectful of the ISK cost of this ship, though, let's look at the amount of damage this one orca took.
I'm pretty
His
sure.
his tank his tank was paid for, obviously.
Right. He was, dude. He was specced out for maximum mining optimization. Defense, what is that? I mean, I'm pretty sure one volley in my capital I could have one shot this dude.
It's like B Town here just posted this Marshall. Okay, I can understand high value Marshalls out there, but who was the guy that tickled the butthole on this man?
Well, marshals are just naturally expensive as it is. Why why
They are. And
people would
that's why I
fly it.
understand them being a high kill. But there's a high kill, and then there's the
What? Am I seeing this right? Is an orca? What? Heck, there
Did
aren't
somebody
even.
add an extra one here or something?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen cheaper Rourke lost mails. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes, Nesseville, that's exactly probably what it looked like when it went.
So yep, that's crazy right there, dude. That's crazy.
I mean, just like in the intro song, only fly what you can afford to lose,
Right?
boys. And apparently these guys are rolling black cards.
All right. So we'll revert back to some of this live stream summary stuff. They have what 61 points. Yeah, 61 points here. We could run through these. Double null space is too homogeneous. What? Who wrote these? Sisters of Eve assault event. Okay, so for those that are following on at least the YouTube, I'm on the chat here. Okay. Sisters of Eve assault event, dual star map system, new player restriction, cannot enter the Ash seed directly and unable to access the main server. That's interesting. So they got like a side server or like a training server before they access the main server. They got to graduate to it. Is that what they're kind of hinting there? Crack artillery implants. Is this translated? It seems like it. Officer skin event. Free to obtain officer skins drop from official live stream ship runs. Yeah, I remember that when we
It's
had the
not
freighter.
releasing for now.
Remember when we had the freighter raids? They were dropping officer loot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Back in like the first year, second year of the game, they had YouTubers that didn't even know how to play this game, playing this game, and didn't even know how to fly a ship, and they're out there getting attacked.
Yeah, I don't even know who that guy is. What was his
There
name
was three of
again?
them.
Does
No, I
anybody
don't
here
remember
know?
the name. I'd have to go way back into the archives and get that info. But
Yeah, I guess I don't have a good enough duster for all that.
yeah, my care has to be up there, and it's not.
My
Optional,
GFL is not high enough yet.
right? Optional purple currency cooperation agreement core. Okay, not mandatory to purchase with red coins. Titans not releasing for now. Yeah, I'm sure there's a concern there. Incursion missions, high difficulty PvE coming this year.
AV
Yeah, we kind of
frigates,
figured that much.
tactical destroyers.
Anything to kill Science's AFK ratting is always something good. New high difficulty PvE missions, so solo, squad, large scale, ship naming not available for now. We know that. Sovereignty flagship tier 2 modifications, loot pickup lock. Interesting. What do they mean by that? Loot pickup lock. So I do know there is an issue where people in the high sec islands, if they do missions, they are available. I mean, it's not even really just high sec islands. This is low sec, high sec, everything. If you're doing a mission and somebody warps in on you that's not in your fleet or anything, they can come and steal your loot. And so there's people that want the loot, and then there's people that just pick up the scraps and steal it, basically. So they'll come in, they'll warp you, or they'll follow you, right? And then they'll just cloak. They'll wait for you to do the anomaly, and then they'll pick your loot up for you, and then they'll warp off. Be like, thanks for the payday, dude. Low effort. So your loot doesn't get snagged while running missions. Timer lock on POS one. Yeah, the timer lock on the POS, that's kind of a known thing now for a little bit for the people that used to do that. You know, pick up POSs that were unanchoring. People would try to steal them. They would log off on the box basically, and so yeah, they found that. They're like, nope, we can't be having this, and so they nerfed that. But seemingly, that's an issue with these mission lock boxes, loot boxes. Anti-stealth pulse prevents cloaking within a certain range. Okay, I could see that being pretty useful. That's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. Black card 1-key switch. Release date to be determined. Client light mode. Oh my gosh. Light mode, client light mode for, okay. So it's not a visible light mode, it's a performance light mode. So yeah, it's a performance optimization. They'll probably grayscale the game, drop it down to 24 frames per second, but at least your guns shoot bullets now. Okay, so that'd be good, right? Jump sound effect. Remember, wasn't that a change in EVE Online where they did an optimization for a light mode, and it was literally a grayscale of the game where you could play it like on Windows XP? Yeah. Or was it that they were playing like a browser version of the game? I think more so that's what it was. It was like a browser remote client type of form of EVE Online that you can access, and it was through the browser. And it was very
All I knew is basically black and white when I looked at it. So
yeah, for sure. All right, jump sound effect, 60 frames per second. Prioritize fixing existing optimization issues. Okay, API port, not implementing it for now, but they do have one. Look at that, not implementing for now. These mofos, they've got to have it. They know they probably have one in the works, and they are purposely not releasing it for some reason. Navy frigates.
probably because they want to be in control of the kill boards over, a third party.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what their reasoning is. There's got to be some sort of bigwig CEO freaking decision that's got to be made on it for whatever reason. Investors, what have you. Tactical destroyers, ammunition system overhaul, breaking wave core nerf. 00 space to homogeneous.
Ammunition system. That sounds interesting.
The dragon on skins is actually a Pixiu, Chinese mythical creature. Pixiu. Mission cooperation and ship rental. See, again, ship rental is again one of those kind of AFK revenue generating things too. But remember back in the day, people were renting ships out to these NPCs and they weren't getting them back. Or they were getting them back, but it was just a hole. They get robbed by the NPCs. Oh man,
I
those are
used to
good
piss
days.
people off horribly.
Oh my gosh. And it wasn't like I cared about these ships, right? But I people are lending ships that they cared about and then expected to get them back fit. I was like, no way, I am not touching that. And sure as heck, that system was so bugged. Oh, back in the day, they were compensating so many things for that back then. Holy. All right. Individual skins, nanocore integration, deep sleep realm iteration. They're lowering the entry barrier, balanced difficulty, added varied tonnage in restriction missions. And so, like we were talking about earlier, if you want to do frigates only in DR3, you might be able to get that. But they probably have to adjust the NPC difficulty on that because it's going to take you more than 15 minutes to kill capitals in DR3 and frigates. At least with 4 frigates. Custom emoji pack, sign-in rewards at high cost effective manuals. New Alliance Confrontation Tournament. Earn new star system sovereignty, non-permanent, higher production efficiency than 00 space. Sovereignty cannot be destroyed and transfer supplies. Match formats 20v20, 40v40 with tonnage limits. Interesting. So what if one of these new outer regions that unlocks, you have to win a system sovereignty tournament for?
That sounds actual. Maybe this leads into their redesign of sovereignty.
Yeah. And I think somewhere
Certainly
too,
there's a lot of questions on that point.
somewhere too, I heard that they're going to implement the rats to attack sovereignty as well in null space. But I haven't seen that yet in this Q&A session. Harvest and anti-harvest mechanism optimizations, anti-alt accounts in parentheses. Anti-alt accounts? Interesting. E3 ship system, modular assembly, super stargates, cross-region jumps. Ooh. Yeah, because that's the thing is you cannot have an N-Splix gate that jumps regions. They just don't, their range isn't that high. But to do a super stargate, that's crazy. First Alliance Confrontation Tournament, capture points to score. Industry Logistics Golden Core, okay. Alliance Confrontation Tournament replays. 00 space, anomalies may add acceleration gates, tonnage limits. Faction NPC stage, attack unmanned sovereignty structures. Okay, so that's it right there. That's it. Faction NPC siege, attack unmanned sovereignty structures. They're going to attack your AFK citadels, or expect you to defend them.
Because that creates in-game content that forces people to interact with the
wake up,
basic
people.
game, not just each other.
Yeah. Friggin' wake up. Defend your shit. Increase jump range.
As Bradrick said earlier, play the damn game.
Yeah, for real. Yeah. Unleash the bots. Unleash my Citadel Nanocore that has automatic defense systems.
Right.
All right. Nanocore integration, core trading. Oh, yeah. They've been saying that for years, huh? Core trading. New novice free-to-play ships. New servers, not opening for now. Okay, again, that's interesting. Because they have a test server. They had Fulmination. They got Aurora. They got whatever, the one that Serenity is at the Chinese server. They got a bunch of them. But right now, at least the North American server is called Aurora. 00 space yellow coin redesign. New yellow coin and insurance packs. Marshall crates. Okay. Simulation battles. Okay, that's interesting. What if I wanted to test a PvP fit? I can go into a simulated battle and test that fit. Test, my cap, my
Mhm.
tank, all that stuff. That's a pretty good suggestion. I like that.
Yeah.
Equipment random attributes obtained via ISK or reverse engineering. New large test ships may be released to servers. New year free core. Core system enhancement boost unconventional capabilities. Combined fleet headquarters not releasing for now. New content. Wanderer ships. Sovereignty security. Faction PvP not restricted to faction warfare zones. Is that War Deck?
I want to say it's the closest thing we'll see until they actually call it that.
Frigate, new
Because just
model.
the way they said it just made me think that it's not really a war deck as much as it's like an agreement for a conflict.
I think it's just racist. That's what it is. Because you fly
Yeah,
Amar,
I'll
I
take
get
that.
to attack you because I don't like Amar.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
Frigate, new models, other new modules gradually to be released. Ash Sea anti-cheat measure against large sovereignty in nullsec enhanced survival capabilities of small mid-sized alliances and corps. Industry adjustments and T3 battleships change appearance by equipping different modules. So that one's pretty cool too. That's where we saw that Raven, that you made it look like that. And here we got some more ships too. B-Town is sharing too. Was that Chameleon? Got the Mock.
Yep.
Thrasher possibly, this bottom one. Yeah,
Mhm.
Thrasher, Chameleon, Mock, Marzio, whatever it is. Got like little teeth on it. So that's pretty cool. Chinese server exclusive, I believe. Sovgate guns. Okay.
Oh, it's
That's
a
a
cyclone,
Cyclone.
he says.
Oh, yeah. Forgive me. I haven't flown one of those since 2021.
Mm, go
Yeah,
preach it on the
that is funny.
mountain, brother.
That is funny though. At first glance, so if you're looking at how small it is on my screen, it did look like a Thrasher from pretty far away. But yeah, I suppose.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's not that far from a Thrasher. Honestly, I can see
Facts.
I can see the Cyclone in there though. Yeah, that is it, man. That is all that I got for you. I know I bored everyone to death with that, but seemingly we got a lot of things. This year the devs are at least active in trying to add additional content and all that stuff into the game and keep things interesting and make things fair and all that type of stuff. But ultimately, man, they have to get with the player base and be like, dude, we need some new players up in this bitch because daggone, all these prices, all this grinding, all this crabbing is turning people away. And it's just crazy. It's crazy. So they need to figure something
guys,
out.
the sovereign gate guns, real quick, since it's being brought up like that, let's just be real here, all right? Let's look at our structure weapons right now, okay? A fully mastered pilot and structure weaponry might be able to one-tap a frigate, irritate a cruiser, probably won't do anything to a battleship as long as they've got logic. It's just the level of meta in those particular items will not be what we think they're going to be right away. And if they are, it'll be a temporary break in the game where they go, oh, hey, we had to fix a problem with the Sovgate guns on the new patch, oh, next week when we do the repairs, we'll fix the gate guns. And it'll be an ongoing thing of that for a while. So, I mean, if you think this is the end of, invading each other's space, no. Think of it as upping the level of learning curve for your FCs. How do you infiltrate without losing as many ships as possible? How do we neutralize those guns on our way in? What super gates can we use? So basically, they're just trying to elevate the level of warfare in the game to be more thinking involved instead of hit the navigate button, show up, and kill shit. And yes, just like Rambo said before, get fucking good, bro.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. I should do another Captain Benzie cameo one of these days. Look at that. I was sailing, I had the captain's hat, I had one of my Cuban shirts on. Oh yeah, dude.
They're not really that broken, to be honest with you. It's NetEase that's broken. They just don't know how to mitigate shit. They just put it out and say, here you go, and pray until somebody complains, and then, well, then they might put a patch out or two. Let's just be real.
Yeah,
But they're not going to be that game ending.
Well, as history has told, never try anything first. Wait a couple weeks.
Yep.
Wait for a couple people to die, AFK, jumping gates or something, and then after the bugs get fixed, then here we are. Yeah. Never go into a faction warfare with a super, by the way. That's just
right.
That's just bad news written all over it. Because if you're not gonna, most likely you're not gonna get killed by the dang people in the system. You're gonna get killed by the gate gun.
Yep. Oh man.
All right.
Well, man, this has been a very informative session this week. Don't you think? We've gone a while. It's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, a lot to catch up on. Glad to be back into the groove of things because, again, like I said, with all the alliance changes and just gameplay, changing up the gameplay a little bit in game again, new responsibilities, all that stuff. I've been really pretty active, and that doesn't really go away, right? Because, like I said, when I commit to something, I'm 100%. So I enjoy this. I enjoy this game. I enjoy conversing. I enjoy doing the podcast, of course. And, I do go out of town a lot too. So that's coming up here in a couple weeks. The second week of February, I'm going out of town. I might as well tell you now because we're not going to have a podcast that weekend. That's Valentine's Day, in case you're, in case you,
I was
your
going to say
husbands.
I will not be here. I have been pre-rented by the missus.
Yeah. Let me say these for the husbands out there that play this game, listen to this podcast. You better start thinking of what you're going to do on February 14th because consider this a hint.
And if you haven't already, then definitely get started now. And if you're not hearing this podcast for a week, you're already 2 weeks late, bro.
Yeah, you're already late. Yeah. All right. So that was it that we had for the content. And we got the NFC and AFC championship games today too. So we get to find out here in a little bit who's all going to the Super Bowl for the NFL anyway. So I'm going to be watching those games today. But so thank you, Raven, for joining. I want to thank our audience. Thank our audience for joining us on today's podcast. And we will keep on keeping on.
We did max out a couple of times. We did max out our audience a couple of times during this one, so it's a good show. Good show indeed.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you to
show.
all you guys.
Like I said, glad to be back. And season 7, here we go. So no, we didn't have a server raid, not this time. It wasn't pinged on the Gulag, so it didn't get the raid. So that's
Right.
fine. That's fine. Yeah, Pimp Hat returns. Hey, hold up! I don't own that hat. Nestable over there doing Photoshop. But anywho. Any questions, concerns, content, you can always DM me. And I guess we shall see you on the next episode. So Raven, say your goodbyes and we'll close it out from there. 07.
All right, boys and girls, y'all all be safe out there. Fly as dangerous as you can afford. And if you can't afford much, fly it anyway.
But don't die.
But don't die. Have a good day, guys. Thanks for having us.
Rolling touchdown.